NBC Sports is proud to bring you coverage of the John Paul Mitchell Systems Freeski Halfpipe at the Land Rover U.S. Grand Prix. Beautiful day in the Sierra Nevada mountains, and the pipe looks fantastic. Freshly cut as the world's best skiers take to the pipe. For more on the conditions, let's check in with Tina Dixon.
And Todd, I want to take us back to one of the first halfpipe competitions of this season, which took place in December on a very stormy day. There was a lot of new snow in the halfpipe and bad visibility, and that prevented these skiers from doing their harder runs. Well, today it is completely opposite. Ideal conditions out here. Even watching practice was impressive. And with this weather, the blue skies, the shape of the pipe, the opportunity is now there for these skiers to showcase their skills.
Thank you, Tina. And to your point, the scores certainly reflect it as we take a look at Aaron Blanc on his first run. Came out firing, Luke, with a 94.20, a stellar first run in this three-run format where only your best run counts.
It was such a high-speed run, fraught with all the most difficult tricks, well landed, and a well-deserved spot, mid-90s in first place.
So as we take a look at the standings right now, it is Aaron Blanc on top with a 94.20, Noah Bowman and Burke Irving sitting in third, with Taylor Seton just on the outside looking in for a podium position. Alongside Luke Van Valen, I'm Todd Harris. Glad to have you with us here in Mammoth on a beautiful day. Aaron Blanc now set to drop in on his second run of three, already in the leader's position. And Luke, his body language is in a good place. He seems fired up to be here in Mammoth.
I would imagine his adrenaline has got to still be pumping after that first run. The intensity and just the audible and just everything about it was so fraught with difficulty and intensity. Huge switch double right there down at the midsection. Into the switch right side, 10. The big double down the pipe flat spin. He is literally doing it again. Unbelievable. I did a little math after run number one. And for those of you maybe just watching this for the first time, he spun in that run 15.5 times from top to bottom. That's enough to make anyone dizzy, but he is perfectly composed throughout. Right side double cork, 1440 tail grab into this switch, double down the pipe. Left side 900, taking off backwards, landing backwards, so difficult. Into the switch right side double. Difficult grab combinations incorporated into these very challenging tricks. And here's the double down the pipe flat spin 900, just like a Michael Chuck style flat spin. I mean, that is such a difficult thing to do on skis. Tickling the grab on the right side, double cork 1260. Everything was two flips, multiple spins, all the way down, backwards, forwards, left side, right side. That was ridiculous.
Aaron Blanc, rock star. 96.20, so he ups the ante on his leading 94.20.
That was massive.
And now Brendan Mckay says, oh, great, Aaron Blanc just dropped a 96.20. I get to go next. The X Games bronze medalist from last week, just 22, coming to us by way of Canada. Now, he had issues on his first run, Luke, only scoring a 16.40 after an early fall.
As you said earlier, Todd, I mean, it can all come together on the third run for these individuals. It's the best single run score counts. But Aaron Blanc certainly in the best position, already in first and improving upon that.
Oh. And again, having issues for Brendan Mckay as we check in now with Tina Dixon.
And two massive runs already in the books for Aaron Blanc. Aaron, how close are your runs to meeting your own criteria?
They have surpassed my own criteria. Honestly, I just came out here. It's unbelievable weather. I skied yesterday. I was like, if there's one thing I love more than powder skiing, it's spring slush, and that is exactly what it is today. So I'm just stoked to be out here. I'm feeling good. It's been a lot of fun. It's such a good contest. We don't normally get to compete in long sleeves and t-shirts, so it's pretty nice.
You do have one run. It's a 3-run format. Is there anything that you can add?
Yeah, I don't really know. There's definitely, I guess, I don't know. Maybe there is, maybe there is. I don't really know. I'm going to have to go up and assess with the coaches and just see what they think I should do, if I should throw in a new trick or not. So either way, I'm really stoked on how today's going, and yeah.
Absolutely. 2 fantastic runs. Thanks, Aaron.
So much.
Well, let's keep things going.
96.20 leads the way. Still to come is Burke Irving, and Burke Irving's a great story. Not only is he an amazing skier, but his sister Svea getting into the business as well, and they are the subject of our Liberty Mutual Athlete Profile.
Both my parents were big skiers. They skied their whole lives. We all went places together, and we'd go ski together, and just pretty fun.
I remember watching Burke, and I was like, I want to do this.
It's awesome to see as she grows up too, and just gets a little stronger, a little taller. Just everything that she's been doing is starting to look so much better.
He's kind of like a coach sometimes, and I trust him, and I trust what he believes that I should do.
I'll tell her to do stuff, but I don't think she really cares what I have to say.
The best advice that Burke has given me is probably telling me to just ski for myself and just have fun.
Winning here last year was pretty unreal just because it was my first World Cup win. That was so insane to me. I hadn't gotten on a podium before.
He always ends up a 4th or 5th or something, and then he finally put it down and put down his tricks so good, and I was hyped for him.
She's got a really bright future in skiing. She's super, super talented, and it's cool traveling with her and going places with her, and I definitely hope that we can continue to do it.
The Land Rover U.S. Grand Prix is brought to you by Visa, everywhere you want to be. By Fidelity Investments. By Spyder, exclusive apparel partner of the U.S. ski team since 1989. And by Homelight, selling starts at homelight.com. Welcome back to the John Paul Mitchell Systems Freeski Halfpipe at the Land Rover U.S. Grand Prix. Final 2 men to drop in here on run number 2 of 3. First up, it'll be Lyman Courier, and then the number 1 qualifier, 20-year-old Burke Irving out of Winter Park, Colorado. Aaron Blunk leads the way in the competition so far in the 3-run format with a 96.20. You see the wind picking up just a little bit, but right now, the big story, Luke, is how good the pipe is running and how great the conditions are.
Yeah, the athletes have been liberated from their winter parkas and are rolling up the sleeves, it would seem, on their hooded sweatshirts, as we can see Lyman Courier preparing. The spring skiing vibe is always one of going big, enjoying yourself, and that vibe injected into a competitive day at Mammoth is truly one to be enjoyed. Wow, humongous. Oh, much, much better on the alley-oop, 720. The switch 1080 there, carries it around, kind of whacks his tail into the wall of the pipe, but holding on to it and cruising down and in. That was a really, really solid run, and certainly an improvement on run number 1.
Yeah, his first run scores an 83.20, looking for something big here. I mean, talk about style. Look at this.
Yeah, watch those 2 hands going out in front, grabbing both of his skis. The better the grab and the more difficult the grab, the better the score typically. And look how he falls around his head, spotting the landing right there as he gets the skis back down and in. There's 2 flips, 3.5 spins. We're throwing out a lot of numbers in reference to the degrees of spin out there, and a difficult grab called a Cuban on that 1080 at the very end.
So Lyman Courier hoping the judges respond to that score. For that run, I should say, looking for a big score. Remember, he's trying to top fellow American Aaron Blunk's 96.20 that he laid down on his second run in spring-like conditions here. Seton on an 83.20. Like to bump himself up a little closer. I know judges will judge you per run, but if you've been scoring in the 70s, it's hard for them to bump you up into the high 90s. So he's going to build incrementally. He'll go from an 83 to an 87.40.
Am I good?
Yep, you're good, bud.
I would say he's better than good. Burke Irving, the 20-year-old out of Winter Park, Colorado, is stellar. Came out with an 86.40 on his first run, which had him in 3rd place. As we just heard about Burke and his sister Svea in the Liberty Mutual athlete profile, a very talented family. Kind of burst on the scene 2 years ago. Now, remember, he won this event last year when he was 19, and here he is at the ripe old age of 20 trying to go back-to-back.
Oh, wow. Landing super low, though, right there. That can be a detriment to speed, but looking like, due to the shape of the pipe, perhaps that he's holding on well. Wow. 1440 right there. 4 complete spins. Topping out the degrees of rotation that we've seen out here today. Alley-oop, double flat spin right there. That trick, very blind, very frightening. You just instantaneously, from initiating that trick at the top of the wall with all that speed, lose sight of where you're going and what you're doing. You sort of have to hold on to the ride. High risk, high reward type of trick.
Oh my, look at that.
And look at that pose that he finds himself in the air. So beautifully done. Landing a little bit low, but holding on to his composure amidst the big fall. Right side, 900, 2.5 spins. And here's this left side, double corked 1260. Of course, the bigger the numbers get, the greater the reward if the execution, the grabs, and that concise overall look to the trick is there. The execution itself, the overall impression of tricks performed is the name of the game. It's all about making it look good while performing difficult tricks out here, Todd.
So Burke Irving was sitting on an 86.40, trying to bump into the 90 club, so he'll have a shot at the win, possibly in his 3rd and final run. And where will the judges slot him here on run number 2? I think it was an improvement, Luke. It seemed like he had a little more amplitude, a little more height. The judges respond with an 88. So Burke Irving in a podium position with 1 run to go. Beautiful early spring day here in Mammoth, even though the calendar says February. As the women's competition rolls on, it has been all Canadian. Cassie Sharp dominating, coming out with a 90 on her very first run, and that has been the mark that no one has been able to step up to so far, other than Rachel Carker, her fellow countrywoman, who dropped an 88 on her first run. Standings look like this as we are in the midst of the 3rd and final runs. Sharp, Demidova sitting in 2nd with that 89, and then Rachel Carker in 3rd. Britta Sigourney just off the podium in 4th place, her best run so far in 86. And here is Britta with her 3rd and final opportunity to crack that podium.
Britta got a little bit off track in run number 2 and missed a few grabs and just had what, from an athlete perspective, was just kind of an off run in general. If she can get her feet underneath her by kicking things off with the first hit really well, that will certainly create the momentum she needs to bolster a bigger score. Nice big mute grab in that alley-oop. Good grab on the left side, 900. Things improving, looking good here. Right side 900, getting that all the way down. That is a pretty new trick to see right to her feet in that way. There's the right side 720. And that was a very solid run right there from Britta Sigourney, incorporating that left and right side 900 into the recipe for disaster there. Big alley-oop mute grab right there. Gets that left arm up in the air purely for style, just to display that goodness. And there's the right side 900, putting it down a little bit wily cat as she came into the landing there. And nice big 720. I mean, that's 2 complete spins, kind of inverted or upside down, adding to the difficulty of the overall puzzle that it is to land backwards coming out of a trick like that. But I think due to a little bit of lapses in execution, she was not able to improve.
So Britta Sigourney will stay in that position with the 86 being her best score, and it's now down to the final 2 competitors, both of them Canadian. Here's the situation. Rachel Carker, if she wants to force Cassie Sharp's hand, she's going to need better than a 90 here on her 3rd and final run. If she doesn't get better than a 90, it'll be Cassie Sharp's victory and a glory run.
One thing that Cassie's doing that Rachel is not is a 1080. Oh, man.
And Rachel Carker goes big on the air. Unfortunately, she comes into the pipe and lands just way down where there's no transition area, almost a flat landing.
And things were looking pretty good. Just a bit of an over rotation on the flip portion there. Oof. And remember, those walls 22 feet tall, and fortunately she fell on what is the soft wall. The sun's been baking that all day and softening it up into a bit of slush.
So for Rachel Carker, just getting to the bottom in one piece is victory for her. She'll hold on to the first run score of an 88, which means that Cassie Sharp has won the event, and now it's just a glory run. When you lay down a 90 on the first run, it makes things a lot easier, and she put the pressure on the rest of the field. The reigning Olympic gold medalist in halfpipe with the 90, and now, Luke, it's all about have a little fun.
And if anyone knows how to have a little fun, it's certainly Cassie Sharp. She's going to enjoy this. I mean, after her win in Pyeongchang in terms of having fun, she wore her gold medal pretty much everywhere. I think some people would probably lock it up for fear that somehow they would lose it or something, but no. She was out and about. I got to wear it. A lot of the friends got to put it on. You know, it was pretty funny how seemingly lackadaisical she was in the midst of it. Wow, nice big switch 720 right there. It's a challenging trick. Throwing some new things into the mix here, and still going for the 1080 down at the bottom. Cassie Sharp puts it down and does not take her foot off the gas pedal even amidst the victory lap.
So Cassie Sharp gets the victory. First run was enough, a 90 to get the win, and she is followed by Valeria Demidova and Rachel Carker of Canada in third. David Wise takes his third run, trying to get back on the winning ways, the two-time reigning Olympic gold medalist in this Land Rover athlete profile.
9 months ago, I shattered my femur when I was doing an event in Austria. I've spent the last 9 months trying to rebuild the strength that I had before I injured myself. Bones knit pretty well, and so I'm pretty confident that my shattered femur is back 100%. We're all going to have difficulties in our lives. You can't be constantly in this state of, oh, I had this injury. I'm never going to be perfect. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, even if I recover from this injury. But I'm going to learn what I can from it and move forward. I'm not out here to try to just get back to where I was. The only reason I'm still playing this game is I want to keep pushing it. But I also know that it's going to take some time, and I will get there eventually.
Looking forward to the Olympics next summer. We have business at hand. The women's competition, wow, stellar performance by Cassie Sharp, Valeria Demidova, and Rachel Carker. Britta Sigourney finishing in fourth place. A strong showing for her, the young lady out of Monterey, California. And moments ago, she spoke with our Tina Dixon.
Britta Sigourney, the top American, and Britta really going for it there on that third run. How would you sum up today for you?
I'm just happy with my skiing. It's a beautiful day here. I was excited to ride a soft half pipe, and I've been incorporating a fairly new trick for myself in my run, so I'm just really happy to have been able to land it. And yeah, I'm excited moving forward. I think I'm slowly building, and hopefully my riding will be where I want it to be when this season wraps up.
Thanks so much, Britta.
Yeah, thanks.
So the men's standings look like this as we enter the third and final runs of the competition. Aaron Blanc has been on a tear, slowly building, sitting on top with a 96.20. Noah Bowman, Burke Irving rounding out the podium right now. But there you see a logjam of Americans, third through seventh. In this format, anyone can take it on their very last run, including David Wise, the two-time reigning Olympic gold medalist. He started things off with a fall on his first run at 11, came back, had some other issues, and saved it. Probably got 30 points, Luke, just for the save. Got a 35.80. That's his best score so far, and now he has one more run to make it all good. And the fact that he's out here even skiing less than a year away from shattering his femur, there's NFL, NBA players that don't even think about getting back to the sport for at least a year plus. David says 9 months is probably good enough.
9 months is good, and I'm going to get back in there and try to push it, he says, beyond where I was before. It's the big old switch, right side double attempt, and unfortunately
But Luke, it's the wise way, correct? I mean, he's going for big risk, big reward. If he lands that trick, it sets him up for the next hit, which sets him on the next one, and he probably gets a top 3 run.
Absolutely. That's 100% correct. I mean, we're talking about a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, a man who's won things like the X Games countless times. I mean, if he can put that to his feet, it really sets the tone for everything else in his run. So he's not just going to throw that away and settle for something else. He's going to continue doing that trick until he lands it. And now...
I'm sorry, viewers, that kind of sucked.
He's not going to go back and just practice.
That's how it goes.
Good attitude. 35.80 is best score of the day, and it was that bugaboo, the first trick there, that really did him in. 21-year-old Hunter Hess out of Bend, Oregon. Getting his skiing done at Mount Bachelor. And he needs something big here. Second run score much better than his first. He's sitting on a 63.80.
Yeah, Hunter. Send it, buddy.
And there the wind picking up just a little bit here later in the day in Mammoth. Temperature close to 50 degrees.
Oh, and a better takeoff there than we saw in run number 2 from Hunter Hess on that big switch 1080. Oh, there's a left side 1080, 3 complete spins, taking off forward, landing backwards. Look at the grabs, watch those hands as he whips. Oh my gracious! Left side. Now, I'm going to rattle this one off. Double cork 1620. That is the first time that I've seen a double cork 1620 in free skiing competition. Hence the excitement.
I think everyone's excited. The sport is so much about progression. So to see something like this go down, this is awesome.
And wrapping up top on that right side, double cork 1260, so spinning everything to the right side, 2 flips, 3.5 spins. And here's the switch down the pipe, 720, really well done. Now let's count the spins here. He goes 1, 2, 3, 4.5, which is a 1620, 4.5 spins. That's the most spins that I've ever seen happen in a half pipe. Unbelievable.
Hunter Hess gets a 74, so that one trick does not give him the biggest score, but a 74 is an improvement.
Get this, Noah. You got it.
So Noah Bowman trending in a different direction. He started off with an 88.60. Luke went down to a 32. He needs a big bounce back right here.
Love this first hit. Just a big 180 down the pipe. Oh, and misses that first switch double.
So unfortunately and fortunately for Noah Bowman, it's a 3-run format. They keep the best score, so he'll hold on to the 88.60. I want to remind you to wear your support for U.S. Ski and Snowboard team. Go now to shop.usskiandsnowboard.org. We'll be back with the men's 3rd and final run after this. Mammoth Mountain is your go-to for big winter fun, offering some of the best big mountain skiing and snowboarding in the country. You can hit Mammoth slopes for more than half the year, from early November into July. The winters are long and legendary, with about 400 inches each year, making this California resort in the eastern Sierra Nevada mountains a favorite destination for winter enthusiasts worldwide. Home to the famed Unbound terrain parks, Mammoth has hosted the U.S. Grand Prix over 10 times and hosted a number of Olympic team namings over the years. On or off the hill, there's something for everyone at Mammoth. Welcome back to NBC's coverage of the John Paul Mitchell Systems Freeski Halfpipe at the Land Rover U.S. Grand Prix. Todd Harris, Luke Van Valen, Tina Dixon with you on a beautiful day. The halfpipe looking fantastic. And Aaron Blunk's skiing equally fantastic as he has the score to beat right now, a 96.20, and he still has 1 run to go. The way he's skiing, Luke, I don't know if it's the new beard or what he's got going on, but Aaron Blunk is on one here at Mammoth.
This is without question some of the best half-pipe skiing that I've ever seen in my entire life. Right in this moment where progression is at the point that it's at, truly a flashpoint of free skiing greatness being displayed by Aaron Blunk with his non-stop doubles down the half-pipe, 4 full spins. Look at the landings, look at his power as he makes his way through into another backwards double. Look how high he's landing on the wall. Double corked spins, and another at the bottom.
Oh my.
And his consistency, that is a 3rd run landed perfectly.
Could he possibly drop 3 straight 90-plus scores? I mean, I don't know what he had for breakfast, but this is something you might want to replicate, because that is some stellar skiing.
He is absolutely on fire. Mind you, there's no one else in the field who has broken into the 90s. He's at a 96.20 with potentially an opportunity of improvement here. Switch, double down the pipe, left side 900 there. And coming around, there's a 900 and 1260, so that's 3.5 spins with 2 flips, and then he dives into another one, spinning the other direction, to the left and to the right. So challenging to be proficient in both directions. It's like being left and right-handed just by training yourself to do so, and then displaying death-defying leaps to prove your goodness.
Hey, Mom, Dad, Morgan. Miss you guys out here.
Aaron Blunk out of Crested Butte, and you got to be kidding me. 97.20.
He's got the 3 highest scores of the day.
Now you're just showing off.
Yeah.
97.2.
Is that some kind of consistent skiing or what? The 3 highest scores of the day, and now Aaron Blunk sits and waits to see if they will hold up. Brendan Mckay now dropping in. He has had his issues early, 16.40 on run number 1, a 34 on run number 2. So Luke, he's trending in the right direction, but 34 is a long way away from Blunk's 97.20.
Mckay kicking things off, switch with a great big, well-executed switch double. Now landing pretty low there. He's gonna wanna not pop out away from the wall so much. But his trick's looking really good so far. Couple of more double flips right there, landing a little bit backseat. Whoa, way out on the tip of the ski with that grab. On the left side, 900. First thing he does is give credit where it's due right there.
Nice work, dude. A bit loose, but made it down. Hell yeah.
And alley-oop, flat spin 540, meaning he kind of turns his body up the pipe and spins in the opposite direction that nature would have you spinning, coming off your edges there. A lot of big double flips, definitely his best run of the day, I would venture to say. Right side double cork, 1260, 3.5, and that's where his landing was a little bit backseat, so I think he's gonna see some marks kind of deducted from that particular instance. But overall, I think it was a really solid run. Not quite to the level of Blunk's.
Big improvement off his 34.40 that he was sitting on. So the X Games bronze medalist from last week, Brendan Mckay, waiting to find out what the judges thought. Again, the mark to beat, a 97.20 put up by American Aaron Blunk just moments ago. And now it's the sit and wait, and judges crunch the numbers. Where do you put him? Do you put him on the podium? Do you put him near the podium? Is he off the podium? He's hoping for the on-podium option. To get there, he'd need better than an 88. I don't think people mind as much when it's 50 degrees, the sun's out.
Yeah.
You've just laid down a killer run, an 87.80. So Brendan Mckay just off the podium in 4th. More of the men's 3rd and final after this. The Land Rover U.S. Grand Prix has been brought to you by Land Rover, above and beyond. By Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. By Blue Diamond Almond Breeze Almond Milk. And by Pacifico, who reminds you to live life. Anchors up. Discover responsibly. Taylor Seton represents the final 3 athletes to drop here at the John Paul Mitchell Systems Freeski Halfpipe at the Land Rover US Grand Prix. Todd Harris, Luke Van Valen on the call, and now Seton, all he has to do, and I'm being facetious here, is drop a 97.21 to take the lead.
That's all. Considering no athlete so far today, aside from Aaron Blanc, has dropped anything over an 88.6, and yet Aaron Blanc has somehow had 3 scores in the 90s with everyone trying to catch up.
I don't know if this is going to be the run for T-Sizzle.
Taylor Seton, different approach right here. So one thing about Aaron Blanc that achieved such a high score is the difficulty of his tricks, doing doubles on every wall, backwards and forwards. Now, Taylor had some very difficult and technical combinations, but the explosive nature of the moves was certainly more evident in Aaron Blanc's rounds.
So Taylor Seton will have a throwaway run there. It'll be Lyman Courier and Burke Irving's turn now to take a crack at fellow countryman Aaron Blanc. Lyman Courier's been riding well today. Started off with an 83, then bumped it up to an 87, but an 87.4 is a long way away from a 97.2. So Luke, knowing that, does his last run that scored an 87.40 have the ingredients to be a 97? Or does he have to add something, an extra rotation or an extra spin?
I honestly do not think Aaron Blanc can be touched at all right now.
Okay.
I don't know that anyone can even come near him at the moment. And I think the battle is for second place at this point. That, of course, an unofficial thought of my own. But, wow, Lyman Courier looking really solid right now. Looking to overtake Noah Bowman, as we mentioned, at 88.6. Nice big switch, 1080 right there. And a good, well-stomped run. I would venture to say that with the bigger amplitude and the solid execution,
if he gets better than an 88, he's going to be on the podium, bumping Burke Irving off into 4th, which would force Burke Irving to go to try to get himself back on the podium and try for the win.
Here's that big old left side double grab on the 900, reaching way out in front. It's called a truck driver, both hands, both feet, kind of like a hands on a steering wheel. And, you know, just some really big grab spin combinations right there, spinning in both directions. Here's this alley-oop trick. Kind of hangs out that mute grab, sort of extending his body, flexing the hips through. And then a nice big Cuban grab is what that's called right there on the switch 1080. So difficult tricks, not quite to the level of our current leader, but I wouldn't be surprised if he landed right around the 88 mark. This could upset the top 3.
So Courier out of Louisville, Colorado, the 25-year-old, 2014 Olympian, competing in Sochi. His father, David, obviously skied in the 72 games in Sapporo before this free ski craze took off. Look at the fellas. They're working the gram. They're working the Twitter. I'll tell you what. If I skied like Aaron Blanc, I'd be working the gram too, because you know what I just dropped? 3 consecutive 90 scores. I'm in first in the Xfinity hot seat. Lyman Courier stands and waits. Does he sit on the bench with the fellas, signifying a podium position, or does he take a walk? Steele, Spence, and the rest of the judges right now really taking their time on this one, knowing that the #1 qualifier, Burke Irving, will be the last man to drop in, the last man to try to take down Aaron Blanc. And the Americans are thinking, we could possibly sweep this podium. It's an 88.20, so Lyman Courier goes into 3rd place. One more run to go and so many tweets to send. Noah Bowman has upset the American sweep so far as he sits in second place. Burke Irving has an opportunity to not only win the competition, but to get on the podium. To win it, he needs better than a 97.20. To get on the podium, he needs better than an 88.20. And to get into second, he needs better than an 88.6.0. Lots of numbers. All Burke Irving needs to do is be Burke Irving and be clean, and he's going to be there.
Wow. Great amplitude on the double flat spin. Slowing things down a little bit into that trick and right back to it. There's a 1440, matching the likes of Aaron Blanc with the size and style in that trick. Slowing things down a little bit in between some of these very big maneuvers. Oh, nicely done. And Burke Irving adding a little bit of flair down there to the bottom and changing up his run just a little bit, but giving much deserved love to Blanc.
A lot of love in the sunshine at Mammoth, but did he do enough to get himself on the podium? Luke, I agree with you. I don't think it's enough. I don't think anyone's going to touch the way Aaron Blanc's skiing today, that first place position. This is the battle for second and third.
This double down the pipe flat spin Japan, just the extension of the grab, the way that he's frozen in that position and the rotation is obeying him completely. That's such a beautiful thing. And really what free skiing is all about, just that exemplified style in the midst of really, really complex maneuvers. And hanging it out, there's a double down the pipe flat spin 720, such a difficult trick into the switch flat 3. Really incredible.
And it's an 83 for Burke Irving, so not an improvement. He holds on to the 86, which means Aaron Blanc has claimed the title here at Mammoth. Blanc with an incredible run of scores, a 94, a 96, and a 97. The only athlete to get into the 90s all day long. Blanc gets the win. Noah Bowman finishes in second. Lyman Courier in third, with Burke Irving just off the podium. Last year's champion finishing in fourth place. What a run as we set it down to Tina Dixon.
And not only did Aaron Blanc better his run each time, you got the 3 highest scores of the entire competition. Did you surprise yourself at all today with your performance?
I 100% surprised myself, honestly, all day. You know, after I landed that first run, I was like, all right, man, I'm just feeling so good. I'm going to keep her going. And then landed that second run, and it was even better. And then I went into that last run, and I kind of talked to my coaches, and they were like, you just gonna chill? And I was like, I don't know. And I was kind of thinking it, but then I was like, no, I'm gonna go give it everything I got. Like, why not? And so I pulled out a new trick, which I've only landed, well, actually, I've only landed once. I crashed on it the first time, but I've only thrown it 3 times. The left side double cork 12. So I honestly just couldn't be more stoked on how it went today. And to share the podium with Lyman Courier and Noah Bowman. I mean, they're 2 of my favorite half-pipe riders, and Burke Irving being the other one in fourth, you know. It was honestly probably one of the most memorable days of my half-pipe career, for sure.
It absolutely was. What a day and what a performance. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
And thank you, Tina. Luke, what a day here in the sunshine at the John Paul Mitchell Systems Freeski Halfpipe at the Land Rover U.S. Grand Prix. I don't know if it was the weather or the pipe, but everyone was feeling good. And the skiing, the progression, both for the men and the women, amazing.
It truly was. On a beautiful day, just some incredible tricks going down on the men's and women's side, as you mentioned, and such a deserved win right there for none other than Aaron Blanc. Beautiful day, incredible tricks.
Again, his scores, 94.2, a 96.2, and a 97.2. He just continued to build, and I think everyone out here, despite the fact of saying, hey, I'd like to win, if you can't win, that's the kind of skiing you'd like to see. Coming up next, except on the West Coast, your local news. And later tonight, an all-new Saturday Night Live with host J.J. Watt and musical guest Luke Combs. So on behalf of Tina Dixon and Luke Van Valen, I'm Todd Harris saying so long from now. You've been watching the John Paul Mitchell Systems Freeski Halfpipe at the Land Rover U.S. Grand Prix. A beautiful day comes to an end. For now, we say goodbye from Mammoth Mountain, California.